Okay. Good day, everyone, and welcome to Consumer Thursdays. As you know, the Consumer Council of Missouri is putting out this new initiative, Consumer Thursdays, to bring light to some of the organizations and entities within our community that are providing services to those within our community, and particularly those that are less vulnerable and are in need of some of the services that we provide or can be provided by different agencies across the city. Today, we're fortunate enough to have Mr. John Saunders Jr., the Executive Director of the Wesley House Association. I personally have been tremendously impressed with the organization, even though they had some storm damage, tornado damage, I should say, with the work that they do in the community and the work that they've done for many years. And with that, again, we're fortunate to have with us today the Executive Director, John Saunders Jr. John, good day, sir.
Well, George, good day to you, and thank you for having me on, man. Our friendship goes back a ways, but our service to the community has been long-standing as well. So I appreciate you having me as your guest today.
Great. Thank you, John. John, tell me a little bit about the history and mission of the Wesley House Association. Um,
Well,
mhm.
George, a lot of people don't realize Wesley House started in 1903 as a settlement house
Wow.
and a safe house for European immigrants as they came to Missouri and the city of St. Louis. So the original facility was located in the 4400 block of Washington
Okay.
Boulevard. But as the population grew and population shifted north, it was determined that a facility needed to be in place on this side of town
Absolutely.
to provide services. So the current facility where we're located at 4507 Lee Avenue was built in 1952. And currently, that is where all of our programs and services are start. Um, Basically, the mission of the Wesley House is really to provide opportunities for people to be uplifted and to be able to face the challenges that life brings our way. You know, so we focus on youth programs, kids age 6 through 14. We provide after school, summer camp, and Saturday mentoring programs for them. We provide family support services through uh, a monthly food pantry and also provide emergency food supplies for folks. We also take part for our families in the United Way 100 Neediest Cases program every year. And then we provide close to 2,000 meals a week to older adults and disabled in the community. So
Excuse me,
we
John,
uh, we
did you
really
say,
service kids as young as 6 years old up to older adult clients 90 plus years age. So
John, I'm sorry. Let me enter one, go back one question. Did you say 2,000 a week?
yes, and how that is done, George, is that we have close to 400 Meals on Wheels clients,
Gotcha.
and those meals are delivered to them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they get a 5 meal box
Right.
every week.
Hmm.
So you multiply that 4,000 clients by that 5 meal box. That's close to 2,000 meals a week that
Yeah.
we
That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
I'm not doubting you. That's just amazing on what you're able to do. Hmm.
yeah. So and then we have a group of seniors actually that are in the building today. It's called our congregate program, where we go pick up seniors at their homes and bring them here to Wesley House on Tuesdays and Thursdays for recreational activities. We'll start back our computer classes for them. They play bingo, they gossip, they, and it really gives them a chance, a safe a way to get out of the house and cut down on that social isolation that a lot of our seniors that are living independently deal with.
That's so true. So true. So many of our seniors I find today live independently, and the need for them to get out and socialize, whether it be somewhere like Wesley House or whether it be
Mm-hmm.
church or whatever, is so important because that
Yeah,
isolation can bring about depression and other impacts to health, to
right, right.
overall health. Right?
Yeah, and see, and the other thing too, George, is that we check on them on a bi-weekly basis. We place a phone call to them. Then when the drivers are delivering the meals, they don't just drop them on the porch. They hand it to that person or their caregiver, not only to make sure that they get the meal, but also to check on their well-being while we're out in the community.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. Fantastic. John, what areas of the city do you serve? I know that I mean, is it limited area or are you focused on one particular area of the city or is it just all of North St. Louis?
Well, George, it's kind of both, okay? Because Wesley House, where we're located, we are right in the middle of the O'Fallon, Fairground, and Penrose Park neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
So our footprint is Grand Boulevard on the east end, Natural Bridge on the south end,
Mhm.
Kings Highway on the west end, and then West Florissant on the north side.
Gotcha.
So our Meals on Wheels program is pretty much concentrated in those neighborhoods.
Yes.
But when it comes to our food pantry, when it comes to persons that are being interviewed for the 100 Neediest Cases program, there's no address limitation or anything like that. Basically, with the food pantry, we have them fill out a basic demographic form to provide address, contact information, the number of people in the household, ages, so we can really know how many people we are serving and are providing these substantive food programs for, and also have you know, for lack of a better term, a population within those neighborhoods that are underserved and really need what we provide. So
Fantastic.
yes, we do have a centralized area that we service. However, we really don't turn anybody away. Uh,
Absolutely. That's good to hear. That's great to hear,
yeah,
John. Thank you so
yeah.
much for that. Let's talk about affordability because one of the issues that come up as I go through communities throughout St. Louis County, and our city, is people talk about affordability, their inability to afford the basic needs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and when I say the basic needs, we're talking about utilities, food,
Right.
and and, and medications, etc. Um, what are some of your clients or those who participate in programs saying? I mean, are they feeling the same pinch as many of us are?
Oh
Are
yeah, yeah,
expressing that?
yeah.
Because
Even more so.
even more so now.
Yeah, because you look at say our average family consists of, especially for the youth and family services side, family that, and this is 2020 census data,
Yeah.
the families that we serve are, say, a family of four, where female or mother head of household, and they are living at or below the poverty level, which is basically at $23,000 every year. Okay. So when you look at the affordability aspect of our programs and services, we do not charge anything for our programs and services. But when you talk about energy costs, energy burdens, water assistance programs, affordability overall, we have partnerships that we work with that we can make referrals to these agencies to get our clients connected to the resources they need.
Well, that's
Um,
fantastic. That's a very
so
valuable service.
Yeah, because one of the things I mean that I've learned, George, is that we can't be everything to everybody. So what we do is we seek out strategic partnerships for um, well, I'll put it to you like this: we pay attention to what our clients' needs are. So from that standpoint, I'll go back to maybe a couple of years ago when COVID was ending, and we started our summer camp program back. We had kids that were very angry, they were very frustrated. So we were having verbal arguments, sometimes physical confrontations among the kids because they had been so confined for a while. So, we said, hey, we need to, for two reasons. We don't need to have them fighting with each other and fussing with each other every day. And the other thing is that they need to realize that there are outlets to get these emotions and these feelings out. So we partnered with a couple of different organizations to do crisis intervention and trauma counseling and follow up services so that they would not keep on having this pent up anger. And then with our senior program, we work with a couple of different organizations. A couple to name a few would be Rebuilding Together St. Louis, Mission St. Louis, to help with low cost home repairs. We have had energy assistance events through the city of St. Louis held here at Wesley House, which, one of the things that I'll touch on getting back in the building, that's why it's so important for us to be accessible, so we can get people in the right places and connected to the right people to get the resources they need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there a lot of people I understand live by the energy burden. They say you're an energy burden if 10% or less of your income is being paid for or paying for utilities, and with the increased costs and utilities, I mean that energy burden is hitting families hard. I mean, and so it's a challenge, and I'm glad to hear that you are able to have the resources and or point the people to the necessary resources because there are programs and services out there for those who are in need. Not everybody will qualify, but most people, based upon your demographic and based upon your demographics, they would qualify for the programs. So that's a great thing to hear, and I hope that they're taking totally advantage of those programs. And I always tell people, if you got an issue, reach out to somebody because you're not by yourself.
No.
You're not by yourself. So there are programs and services out there who can assist you because we don't want anybody to be without utilities and extreme cold or extreme heat.
No.
We just can't have that. That's something we have to try to work with. There is a water assistance program for those people who are homeowners that is also available now, and they can, city water rates increase about 40%. And there is a program that's in place right now where those persons that are behind with their water bills can get up to $500. And the United Way of St. Louis is administering that program on behalf of the city of St. Louis. Like you, I'm a resource. I'm a resource person.
So, and we have to know those things, man, because people look to us to have those answers. And George, you touched upon a very critical point that I like to tell people all the time is that if you don't ask, you're not going to get. Okay, and basically, you may be told no. Okay, but just think about the fact that if you hadn't checked into it, but that no can be a yes if you are, what would I say, diligent about pursuing it, which is why, my staff, my director of senior services, I mean, we've even called utility companies on behalf of some of our clients, okay, that were either not able to communicate effectively or were intimidated by the process.
Right.
So, it's just a thing. If you just accept what people say you can't have,
Right.
then you'll never have anything.
Well, it's
Okay.
it's good to hear because a lot of people are intimidated by the process. The
Oh
process
yeah.
of to pick up the phone, and you'd be amazed at how many programs that are available through the utility companies and other
Hmm.
programs and services that are out there to assist.
Yeah.
And I always tell people like you, don't be afraid to make that call because if they tell you you're ineligible for one program, you may be eligible for another program.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's right.
so there's always alternatives. Let's talk about one additional subject, and that's the tornado. The tornado occurred
Mm.
about a year ago. This May, I think it is, May 16th. I think it was the day of the tornado in 2025. And I know I know from experience and being over and visiting you
Hmm.
and visiting your operation that your building was impacted by the tornado.
Yeah.
How has that impacted the homeowners over there? Has it, many of the, I drive through the neighborhood, I see that some of the homeowners have been impacted, but
Hmm.
did that really have a significant impact over in the immediate area of your offices?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because the tornado happened May 16th, as you said,
Yeah.
which was a Friday, and actually Wesley House itself was a victim of the tornado. The initial tornado blew the roof off of our facility. When it rained over the weekend,
Right.
the temporary tarp we put over did not withhold the weight and the consistent raining. So the whole internal structure of our building uh, collapsed inside. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the building was built in 1952. So we're talking about cinder blocks. It wasn't built with just regular bricks.
Right.
So the external uh, portion of the building was not damaged. Now, I said the roof was some, but like 2 or 3 years ago, we had some tuck pointing done. Okay, at the like 6 feet from the top of the building down. So that was, I believe, very helpful that we
Mhm.
didn't sustain in more, excuse me, more damage because we had the tuck pointing done. But what happened immediately after the tornado is that we had to, those programs I was talking about earlier, we had to put a halt to them because they were so uh, dependent on access to the facility. But what we did was we pivoted and we worked with a whole bunch of other organizations to start providing hot meals, cleaning supplies, referrals to FEMA, SEMA. We conducted a community resource fair like 2 weeks. We were scheduled to do our resource fair like 2 weeks after the tornado. So basically, we had to jump into immediate response mode. We continued to plan for the community resource event, and we had over 30 agencies that were here on our parking lot
Wow.
to provide immediate assistance
Wow.
to people in the neighborhood.
Wow.
So after that, we had to start our own reclamation project and dealing with the insurance companies and construction and the city and United Way and things of that nature. Now, the fortunate thing for us is that, for one, we maintain very good insurance policy. Okay. Secondly, we were very diligent in getting started with the work that we were going to need because, didn't anticipate it would take 6, almost 7 months to get it completely done.
Yes.
We still got a little polishing and dusting off to do, but it impacted our ability to do programs directly. So uh, again, we pivoted and worked with organizations in the community. Our summer camp was due to start on June the 2nd, but because the facility was in disarray, we wouldn't be able to do it here. So contacted New Sunny Mount Church, and we were able to get our kids connected with their summer camp, and then the staff people that I had hired for the summer, we were able to move them up to that location, which is about 5 minutes from us. Then, as I alluded to earlier, the 100 neediest cases through the United Way, I talked to United Way and said, hey, we don't have a facility. We can't do it this year. And they were like, well, John, look, we depend on you. You're the only agency over in that community that is doing the 100 Neediest Cases program. And George, just for your viewers and listeners, the 100 Neediest Cases program is in some circles is called the Christmas Story program.
Right.
Okay. And people come in, they bring their doctor bills, eviction notices, utility disconnection notices, and we take that information and we do an intake process. So we had to have a location to do that. So I was able to contact St. Peter's AME church that is maybe 5 minutes the other direction from us. And we were able to continue 100 Neediest Cases program.
Fantastic.
So our whole thing was maybe for about 6 months, we were operating maybe at about 60% of our capacity.
But only because you didn't have your own facility.
That's the only reason why. Only reason why. So now that we're back in the building, the only program in section that we have to work on is our youth program.
Okay.
So, we kind of put a halt on the after school program, but we do have maintained connections with our families. So say, for instance, if one of the children needs some tutoring assistance, we get some tutors lined up for them.
Fantastic.
Okay, even though they're not coming to the building, we're still touching them.
So I'm sure you'll have programs up and running by the summer.
Oh yeah. Our summer camp, we've already started planning for it. We have some funding in place for it already. So which will lead us to getting them back in the building, and then come the fall of the school year, we'll be able to do our back to school event, get kids plenty of school supplies, get them connected to some additional resources, and we'll start our after school program back in the fall. Now, one thing that we have been able to do now we're back in the building, we work with two different organizations. One is called Black Girls Do STEM, and the other one is Saturday Boys Academy, which used to be St. Paul Saturdays.
Very familiar, very familiar.
Okay, so from that standpoint, Black Girls Do STEM, they meet in our building the second Saturday of each month, and then the Saturday Boys Academy, they meet on the third Saturday. So they were doing that before the tornado. So we've been able to get our older kids connected into those two programs for mentoring, career readiness, workforce readiness, understanding coding, all those types of things that are related to science, technology, engineering, and math. So, I was telling my boy last week, we may have kind of skipped a beat, but we really haven't missed much as far as program and service delivery throughout this time.
John, it's amazing, fantastic.
Appreciate it, man.
I can say this: thank you for all that you do, and all that the Wesley House Association does for the community.
Yes,
I think when I look back and I learned something today, going back to 1903, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you talked about 1952. I had no idea the building that you're currently in was built at that time.
Yeah.
But all of the programs and services that you provided are much needed. As Consumers Council of Missouri, we're very grateful for you taking the time to talk with us today, let us in on, or now give us some knowledge on what Wesley House Association does. I'm familiar with some of the programs you talked about when you talk about the Saturday Boys Academy. I remember when it was St. Paul Saturdays. And myself, it was originally founded by Dr. William Harrison, who happened to be a Morehouse man like myself. And so it's amazing to see those programs and your involvement, and seeing that those programs and activities continue for the youth of our community. Not to mention the fact that you, as you say, you touch over 2,000 families on a weekly basis with the food program and food programs, and you provide references and and outreach to those in need of services, whether it be rental assistance, energy assistance, etc. I mean, it's phenomenal the amount of work that you do or able to do. Of course, as a nonprofit with limited staff, of course, and I like to, I hope that when we put this out for viewing, that some of the funders may look your way.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. I mean, because George, you understand the process is, um, you know, um, the awareness. I mean, people need to know what you're doing, uh, because the fact of the matter is that I've been here 7 years now, and when I first got here, people were surprised to hear that we were still open. Okay, but incrementally, we have been able to build Wesley House's brand back up, and even to the point where we're able to add different things. Because, for example, when the kids really get back in the building, we have as part of our reconstruction, we built a podcast studio.
Oh, fantastic.
So our youth is going to be the Wesley House Youth Podcast. And, persons like yourself and people that are doing different things in the community, we want them to come as guests so we can inform more people. And the thing about young people, and you've worked with them, and if you keep them motivated, you keep them stimulated, you get them engaged, you keep them encouraged, and ultimately they become empowered to make a difference, not only in their lives, their family lives, and the community. So it's not as simple as that, but then again, it is.
At the end of the day, it really is. But you have to keep them engaged, keep them informed, and I appreciate that, John. Again, John, on behalf of Consumer Council of Missouri, thank you for your time, sir. Thank you for the insight and knowledge that you've shared with us today about the Wesley House Association. We are tremendously grateful. And anytime, as you know, anytime I can assist in any way, please feel free to reach out.
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
Thank you, sir, and have a great day.
You too, George.